Guys, I always say you can set your watch by us, but unfortunately today we're 5 minutes late, and we do apologise. But we're still going forward with the Man United agenda. Yeah, we can't always get it right, can we, boys? I mean, we're a bit late today, but it doesn't matter. I know there's a few people waiting on us. We just want to apologise. Before I come to the panel, I'm going to prioritise the people in the comments, and that would be Shah. He's in the house saying still no signings. Can't wait for signings. He's happy when their signings comes true. Karma Connor was on last night representing. How you doing, bro? Hope you had a good day. Big up to Rich Sports. Sent me a nice Twitter. Family love, all these hearts and kisses and everything else. Big respect to you and your channel and all the community that you've built. Love it. Absolutely love it. Bath time with Vaughan is in the house saying, guess which superstar pundit has some pre-Love Island sangria?
Mr. B.
Anything related to sangria. Bill Badger's in the house. I'm in the shower. Don't start yet, lads. He's saying we won't. We've got Pat Lawless as well. Pat Lawless is in the house. How you doing, bruv? Who else is in the house new? That's about it. Let's get going. Edgar as well. How you doing, Edgar? Guys, got two topics we'll discuss today. First one is the left back, and the second one is about Michael Edwards. But I want to talk to the boys on the panel first of all. And detention time. Why are we late, guys? Are we going to tell the reason why we're late?
Can I start? Okay, I'll start. I didn't even know I was on. So if I'm the reason why on Monday's watch wasn't set, but if the show wasn't set for 8:30, then I can only apologize and blame Solo.
All right, I'm going to blame. I'm to blame as well. I only came on 5 minutes to go. I was rushing home to get here. And Rise was here. I've got no. He's the one without blame. Professional as always, you know. So it's us two, me and Mr. B. We have to sort of take a few slaps after the show. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to ask, talking to you, how's your day, man? Apart from doing the graphic and all that kind of thing, what else were you up to today?
It's just the usual work, cooking, cut my son's hair. It's very warm and sticky. Just chilling out, working on a few bits and bats for the channel, and on the behind the scenes, so to speak, getting ready for the season starting and whatnot. It's been okay.
If your son's hair is very warm and sticky, I'd advise you to watch it first. Anyway, Mr. B, Mr. B, were you multitasking like talk? Were you cooking, painting and decorating, cutting kids' hair? What have you been doing? I can imagine, but
I've decided after this week's episode, I decided I won't be cooking before the show.
Okay.
I think I will say.
Are you going to give the big reveal about that then?
Oh, absolutely not. Let's just say that the fire alarm went off, and my priority was sorting out the house before.
Was there chicken involved, Mr. B? Can I ask you, was there any chicken involved?
There might have been a little bit. There might have been a little bit left.
Yeah. If you like your chicken well done, get to Mr. B's.
Guys, have you heard of the Tyrell Malacia, final left back? Anyone heard of him?
Slightly, but that's only because we've been linked with him. I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo you about. Obviously, we're looking at either a right back or a left back. The price is great. The price that they want, the price that I'm hearing is the price that I would like to be buying left and right backs at, and then obviously improve them as players. The only issue is that apparently, or the rumors are coming out now all over Twitter, that we might get gazumped by Leon, who want to pay 15 million instead of the 12. So I don't know what's going on. Surely we can do two things. Yeah, let's
read it, boy. Read all about it. So Tyrell Malacia. I'm going to go with that for now. Man United are said to be in a race to the finals. Left back Tyrell Malacia. According to the Dutch outlet Telegrapher, United are keen on strengthening their fullback position, position, and Malacia is seen as an important signing. A Dutch club are demanding a transfer fee between 15 and 20 million. Like you said, it's quite a cheap. The Man United scouts have been impressed by Malacia's development and some of his exciting qualities. The 22-year-old is an excellent athlete and can be defined as a quintessential modern-day fullback. His speed and energy allow him to constantly bomb up and down the flank. I think that's a great review. I think that covers everything that I would say about this young man. TalkMU, thank you very much. Just quickly, I just want to say it's great that we're actually looking at fullbacks. Yesterday we looked at the fullback from Middlesbrough, and today because we were talking about strikers, midfielders, but these are key positions, I believe, and he's a left back. So over to you, TalkMU. Should Shaw and Tellez, should that be a huge message to them that we're actually considering one of these young 22-year-old left backs from Feyenoord?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we've got to have competition in those positions, and a little bit more sort of quality on the offensive and in the defensive aspects of what Centre Hag's going to be wanting to do, and exactly everything that's just been revealed there in that graphic about this young player. He can play left defense, defensive midfield left, good at everything: passing, dribbling, holding onto the ball, concentration. He's fast. He's great burst of pace, good timing in his tackles. Doesn't from what I've seen, doesn't really go to ground as much as some of other players that we could mention, which is always a good thing, and again, we stats and performances from what you see of any young talent, it's always like, okay, but when it's down to that price tag. It's like the guy we looked at yesterday. When it comes down to them kind of sort of values, in my opinion, that is great value for us in the process we are in right now, because of the transition we're in. This is the moment for us to kind of flood ourselves with really good talent. So I mean, there's something there for me for that kind of money. But again, I don't suppose we want to get into a bidding war with Leon.
Look, I'm bidding war with Leon. How the mighty have fallen. Jesus Christ.
Made bids already. Leon have made bids already, have been rejected. So they're probably starting at like the 8, 9, 10 million sort of area. But I think it's really cheap for a young player, who's ready for the next stage. I just want to go through some comments before I come to you, Mr. B, and so you can chew on something here. So Barfton saying, yuck, this is like the Denzel Dumfries news rumours. Instead of a technical player, he's been defined as an amazing athlete. That's what they've said about him. O'Connor saying, Bill Badger, manager, I think the De Jong deal is further away than we think, but more than not, it will be Ericsson. So he thinks Ericsson's still on. Pat Lawless, I love this one here. He says Tyrell certainly acts and plays like a young Paddy Evra. Let's bring him in and slowly push Luke Shaw and Tellez out the front door in time. And finally, Tyrell from Connor says, Tyrell has some really nice stats for 90 minutes. I'm going to focus on this comment here. So there's a lot of similarities with Patrice Evra. Let's bring him in and slowly push Luke Shaw and Tellez out the door. That's what I started with. I asked, are they under threat? Is this going to be a first team player, or someone's going to come in and have that slow process to get into the first team? What do you think, Mr. B, about this young man? And what do you think? Does that say that we're vulnerable at left back with Luke Shaw and Tellez?
I think we're vulnerable with an out of form Luke Shaw. Tellez, I'm not really a Tellez fan, to be honest. I expected a lot more from him when he came. So Luke Shaw, I do expect to stay. Tellez has only got a year left on his contract as well. Remember that. So is it Tellez or is it Dalla? Tell a lie, wrong. Skip that one. Bomb that. Tellez, I think he doesn't. There's so much stuff he doesn't do as a fullback, and I'm not sure. He's a bit erratic on the ball a lot of times, and I'm not sure Ten Hag is looking for somebody who's erratic on the ball now. I think we're looking more for players who will play to a style of play. I think Tellez just goes wide, he runs wide, whap, whips the ball in, runs wide, whap, whips the ball. Doesn't even look where the ball's going. So I would be thinking if Malacia comes in,
Yep.
that he would be looking to take Tellers' place more than Luke Shaw's. It's Luke Shaw whose contract is up in a year, and I think he's got a year extension. So again, these are things that they need to be looking at now. Really, I say now. The season hasn't started yet, and we're worried. But Malacia, I think it'd be we need competition more Omondi at the moment. If Ten Hag has identified these players, this is a player maybe for the future, but he's obviously got the attributes that he's looking for. So if he does come in and hit the ground running, then it could be bye-bye to one of those two. That's what I want. If he's looking for a player to come in, give him the opportunity to maybe stake a first team place. These players, who's heard of Malacia before this season, really? Before we were, as Manchester United players, I'm not going to be ignorant. Obviously, I know there's a lot of people out there who do watch Dutch football, but me personally, I'd never heard of him before. So these are the things that I like. It's not the same. We're not churning out the same old players.
Yep, fair enough. I think with Tyrell Malacia, I like him. For what I've seen, he's obviously come through the final ranks, and slowly each year he has more game by game. He's getting more games, which suggests that he's becoming a real rock solid first team player for them. What I do love about him is that he gets tight. He doesn't let when he's a winger or something, he gets tight to them early, so it doesn't give them a chance to turn on him and sort of go at him. And if they do decide to go at him, he's got the pace to go with a man and block crosses and everything else and stand up. I do think, as Rise was saying, he does stand up a lot. And when he does go to ground, it's when it's confirmed, he makes a big statement. I like him as a player, but you just don't know, do you, how these players step up. I think he gives you a lot of balance. I think if you've got a good defence, who's well organised, he will be a major asset. Going back to the Tellez thing, I want to have a little fight with you, Mr. B, and you talk if you want to go there. I do think Tellez is a good player. I think, we've written him off, but I think he's a very good player. I think he does a lot of good things for Man United. Even when remember, we've been playing in a poor side for a long time now, so nobody's looking outstanding. The only person looking outstanding is apparently the world's best player who's scored a few goals, and our goalkeeper, because we're getting loads of, we're losing loads of games and conceding lots of goals. So I think Tellez has still got an opportunity to make a statement. But one person we want to talk about, I'm going to come to you two next, is the youth. There's a left back called Fernandez, is it? What does that say to him, for example? Do you think we should be going into a left back before we look at this guy? Because obviously he's very talented, very well sought after, and gets rave reviews in the youth academy.
You want to go first, Talk?
I mean, look, for me, with the youth, firstly, it's there's a risk. The risk is always there when it comes to youth players bringing them in. When you bring a player like this kid in, or if we were to do that, Malacia coming from the Feyenoord, that league, everything else, that risk, in my opinion, is reduced massively. So it's like there's a huge reduction in the risk of giving him an option, a chance to play. Sorry. So when and when they do get a chance to play, I'm going to hit back what you just said on there, which is right. These youngsters like this, they come on with swagger, attitude, and the target they've got is looking at what we've done over the last season. We were crap, so they should be full of confidence going into that. If they get a chance, thinking, you know what, I can do better than you. I can do better than you. I can do better than you. Because we weren't great. If they were coming into a team that had just challenged for the league or won the league, for example, or done well in the Champions League or won a cup or something, then it'd be a different story. But right now, there's a real target for young players like this, and the guy we spoke about yesterday, to go, you know what, I'm confident that I can come in here and do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So what about Fernandez then? Do you think, I don't know what you've seen of him or whatever, but he's really a good player. He gets up and down. He's got the same attributes. And I think, do you think he deserves a chance maybe under Ten Hag before? Because that would be 3 left backs. Bringing this Tyrell, it would be 4 left backs we'd have. Do you think there was a statement the other day, we're going to get rid of 5 defenders. But those 5 defenders, we can name them now, would probably be Phil Jones, Bailey, Wan-Bissaka,
Brandon Williams.
Brandon Williams, yeah, that's another one. And someone else as well. Phil Jones, Bailey, Wan-Bissaka, Brandon Williams, and there's one more. 4 or 5, I think. Can't remember now. There's another defender. That's probably not someone who's going to be. Oh, Tunzabi. That's the fifth one. Tunzabi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 defenders. They're not really featuring in anyway. So do we need 3 left backs and 3 right backs? Because we've got Ethan Lurd coming in. We've already got Wan-Bissaka there. But then we're looking at the right back from Middlesbrough yesterday to go with Dalot, who half time said Dalot would be a great a watch next year. I think he's going to step up. Mr. B, over to you. So what do you think about Fernandes? How do you feel if you're Fernandes? You're coming to that age where you might be thinking to try and get some squad rotation when they're looking at Tyrell.
You have to understand levels. He may well be good, but at the same time, we need players who are ready. If he's that good, Ten Hag will play him, regardless of who he's bought. But he will get game. He's never going to be a first team. So if he gets any sort of game time at the ages, it's a bonus. He was playing youth team football last season. So let's not get too high. These are young players who still need to grow physically, maybe a lot more than mentally, because we do tend to train them pretty well at the club, as in how they are as men and how they are as players. Just a slight example. I know we're going to go back in time. I'm not going to do a Paddy. I'm going to do it really quick. Under Ferguson, the players who played under him, all the other clubs they went to, they tended to become captains. One example, Phil Neville. Why? Because he had that Manchester United DNA inbred in him. So if these youngsters have that in them now, then of course I think they do have the opportunity. But 17, 18, in my opinion, is too young. Not saying they can't do it, but it's very rare you're going to see a 17 or 18 year old player holding down a first team position, unless obviously they're really exceptional. I think he would be happy just to be in the squad. Don't forget as well, we've got 5 subs. We've got 5 subs this season, so I think that's going to give a lot of the younger players, because it looks like that's probably what our bench is going to be full of at the moment, a little bit of game time. So yeah, I expect him to be excited but patient.
How important is fullback position for under Ten Hag? Anyone?
I think it's going to be really important. If you look at how everybody's been playing, or how everybody plays, you look at Trent, you look at Robertson, you look at Cancelo, you look at Walker, to a certain extent. I was going to mention a player from us, but we haven't got one. I really wanted to dig a player out and say, look, but we haven't got one. So they're important. The chances that they're creating in games. I mean, we spoke about the Hoffenheim defender the other day, Ram. Can't say his name.
Ram.
His stats as, I mean, to get 11 assists in a season from fullback. All right, I understand he probably did play left wing back as well to a certain extent, but these are things now that you wouldn't have thought about maybe 10 years ago a fullback having to do in their locker. So right now, I think they're becoming a really, really important position. I know we always talk about, I mean, Bath Time said, look, we're talking about athletic, not technical. But when they talk about fullbacks, they tend to say that they're athletic more than technical. So you can get a technical.
They cover more ground, don't they? Going up and down, they tend to cover more ground. So yeah, I do think they're important as well. I agree with you, Mr. B. Do you agree with that type of talk?
Yeah, definitely. Like we say, with Ten Hag, with this, bombing forward, and what he did there. All you got to do is just go and watch Ajax, and you get a good idea of what he wants, what is required. And I mean, it's like we were talking about the youth. I want to go back to one of my 2 buzzwords that we kind of used a little while ago: attitude and application. That's another thing I think Ten Hag is going to be looking at. The ones that show that in bucket loads and actually impress him in that regard. There's a psychological aspect to it then as well, of introducing them to the squad. The ones who are worth the time and the effort invested in, Ten Hag will notice, and he will then bring them into the fold. And again, they will get game time here and there, and then it's about, again, learning in game from the mistakes. We've spoken about this many times, and that is a key factor to Erik Ten Hag's role, what he does. He likes to see you do that, and if you don't, as we've said before, he'll take you away, and he'll do either group training or it'll be one-on-one, so you understand why did that fail for me? What did I do wrong? Why didn't I identify the mistake that I made? these are the kind of things that Erik ten Hag is sort of renowned for. So I think there's a lot of plus points for us to be taken a punt on these youngsters. But again, going back to the value side of it, with a player who's sort of proven to a certain extent in another league, then you're always going to go for that over it. But you would still take a chance on the ones that are really, really shining. So,
all right, I'm going to go with this. So look, I like Tyrell. I think he's a good player. I think it's worth a look. We talked about a player from Middlesbrough, the right back guy. He gets forward a lot. He's young. If you give someone an opportunity like this, I think they can shine. So I think for both sides, for the right back and the left back, I think maybe we should be looking at options like that, especially when you could get two of them for 30 million. And with Tyrell, I think he's even more experienced, and I think he's got that hunger with him as well. As we're going to come to Pat as well. Pat, I've studied this guy we did shows about him before. So yeah, you're right. What you say, exactly what you say. So let's hear it from HG Gamer. He says 3.5 days away from our first team training, and it's going to be the same players in the squad. So the disappointment. The stat man from yesterday, that'd be Callum O'Connor, says 11 duels per 90, 55% success rate with his duels, which is not bad. Pass success rate is 85%. Dribble success rate is 67%. Talking to Bath Time with Vaughan. Got some really good comments here. So now we're getting into the fullback and what we're looking for. So Bath Time with Vaughan says the player he's most excited to see next season is Dalot, which suggests that some players that we might have written off have still got something to give. And I agree with him there. Pat Lawless is saying, OMONDI, you really like him. He's got bark, bite, and cool and collective, taking down the ball under pressure. That's what we like to see. I totally agree with you there. Carl McConnell says, Tellers is good in the league. That's not as physical as the Prem. I did this, yeah. Tellers is getting a raw deal, I believe. Bath Home Vaughan says, Tellers is someone that who that was regarded as one of the best wing backs in Europe, has one of the worst body shapes for crossing he's ever seen. This is what I'm saying. I disagree.
Yeah,
I'm on the show.
Do you know what? Actually, when we come, sorry, one sec. When it comes to Tellers, look, me and Mr. B on the watch-alongs last season, there were times when we were saying, "Well, yeah, great work from Alex Tellers. Great work from Alex Tellers." Then, for whatever reason, we would find him putting crosses in from the most peculiar positions on the pitch, and we're like, "Yeah, well, why are you putting the crosses in from there?" And we tried to break that down, I think, during shows after, on reaction shows and everything else. And I think, yeah, I agree with you, Monday. Listen, there is aspects to Tellers' game that are really, really good. And he's a baller. He is a good footballer. There's no two ways about that. The only question is he going to be able to adapt to what Ten Hag requires of him? That's and we'll soon find out.
To me, the answer is clear. Yes. Yeah, I think he's really good. He gives you great balance. He's very good at going forward. He's got a beautiful left foot wand and the shape that he's crossing the ball. Bath Time, get your ass on the show. Get your ass on the show. We need to bump heads. But Bill Badger is saying Fernandez could end up being more of a forward. That's our left back at the moment. The youngster. Pat Lawless is saying Tyrell pushes out one of the left backs, and after a good loan spell, Fernandez could push the other out of the door. So that's the guide there to get them both into the first team after a couple of years. Bath Time saying fullback is the most important position on the football pitch. Emma Kay, how you doing? She said, I wouldn't mind having a bit of a bloated squad to figure out who would fit best, but it has to be filled with our youth and not youth that we buy. So she's saying invest within. Bill Baggio is saying Fernandez is better going forward than defending, but he is physical enough to do a job, he thinks. Bath Time saying it is Pep who spent the most money in this area. So Pep, clearly when he came into the club, he's identified fullbacks as his key position, so it shows how important it is. Callum McCullough says we need strong fullbacks in the system that Ten Hag is going to play. So there we go. We're all in agreement here. Good comment. Bath Time saying Cancelo, James, Trent, Hakimi, Carvalho are all players with players first, athletes second. Interesting that. I want to say hi to the best non-league defender out there, centre back, and that'll be Tavris. How you doing, bruv? Amateur football. Go and check out their channel for the grassroots boys. And the claim is true. I've done some investigation. He is the best. Brush is saying our first signings is dividends for £11 million. I don't mind. That's a good one, isn't it? Sorry, can we just say hi to Brush as well? Because we've missed you, Brush.
Big up, Brush.
Emma said, I don't mind our fullbacks not getting the many assists. I just want them to be able to defend and get involved in the build-up play. can't kind of brush. There will be some sort of announcement tomorrow to cover that up, you believe. The crazy thing is, Emma, the season we finish second under Ole. Shaw and Wan-Bissaka were the highest creating fullbacks, he says. There's a big hi to everyone in the comments, and it's 2 minutes to Love My Island, so bath time's out of here. Bath time, make sure you come back later. We need to discuss this because I'm fed up with you dissing Tellez and talking about his body shape and things like that. We need to have a head-to-head. It's been a long time. 16 people in the chat. Make sure you press the like button. Just to finish up with the fullbacks, yes, we agree it's important. Do you think for 30 million we can get the two players that we spoke about yesterday and today? Are they worth it? Is it worth a punt, guys? Final word on this?
Definitely worth a punt, in my opinion. They should be putting somebody on that because let's have it right. They're not going to be too difficult deals to get done, surely. Do you know what I mean? That's not like it's going to take the whole team to sort of get in touch with Middlesbrough and Feyenoord to try and bash out a deal. No, that's a simple one. That. So you know what? For me, thumbs up.
Mr. B.
I just want us to spend money. So yeah, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'll be on. I'm not sure. Is fullback really a priority position?
Yes, it most definitely is, Mr.
Both
B.
sides. What would you say was our weaker side? If we had to choose a side, because we all
the right side is our weakest.
Okay, so the Malice, so this Malacia one is maybe something that we shouldn't really be looking to. What you're thinking as a club, we should be more focusing on the right side of it.
Well, you asked between left and right back, what do you think is weakest? And I think at this moment in time, maybe the right back's weakest. We've got Dallo, who still needs to step up. I think there's a player there. Wan-Bissaka's confident shot, and then we've got a player coming off loan in Lerd, who hasn't proved it yet. That's why.
Right. So the again, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes our recruitment seems to be a bit. I know we need players, but it just seems to be a bit scattergun. We know we need a centre midfielder, but we're being linked with either side full. I would have rather we've been linked with strictly right back, so we knew. Obviously, things happen and stuff comes out, but so that we knew, okay, then we're looking for a right-sided defender. We're looking for a right-sided midfielder. We're looking for a CDM and a ball playing centre midfielder. It just seems that at the moment everything is all over the place. The one position that we haven't been linked with for whatever is so obviously since Nunes is an out and out striker.
Mr. B, I don't think any of these targets that come out to be actually real. I don't think there'll be any that are kind of just targets that somebody's decided that a club they're going to go, you know what, let's have a look at this guy here. I think any targets that we're actually really, really focusing on are from Ten Hag, personally.
Okay.
I just think that he's, most definitely, because he's again. I always go to what must have been said in the interview process. You've got to listen to what I say. If I make targets, we've got to go out and do our best to get them. So I can't see the club doing. And you know what? You listen to what Arnold said in that video. You want me buying the players. You know how that works out. So I think that's a big hint to the fact that any targets that we're looking at right now must be coming from Erik Ten Hag. How much of a big deal that is, and how it's a must. We don't know yet. It might be a case of, well, if you can get him, get him. He's good. I think he's good. He can work for me. Down the line, because we're not only looking just here at the start of the season. We're looking down the line. Down the line of the season, because we're going to have players who are going to need to be rested. We're going to have players who need to rotate, injuries, everything else. So this is where I think Emma Kay was right in saying about fleshing the squad out. Get some numbers in there.
Speaking of numbers, we've now got 19 in the chat, so make sure you press the like button. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Question before we move on to the next topic from the amateur football, the greatest centre back in non-league grassroots veteran football. He says, question to the panelists: what are your expectations next season and your thoughts about how Old Trafford has changed within 101 years? Now, I think he's a Liverpool supporter, so he's taking the mickey a little bit here. But what are your expectations? Let's focus on the first half of the question. What are your expectations for next season? Mine, I'll go first. I think we will be the best of the rest and come third. That should be the expectation for us, and I'm confident about that. When I look around and I see other clubs and squads and everything else, I think now that we've got a good manager, our expectation should be to come third behind Liverpool and Man City, because I don't think we're quite ready to challenge those two.
Mr. B, over to you. Please, you're chuckling.
I wouldn't, man. I swear. I love you, man. You are so optimistic, bro. You are my sunshine, but I tell you, bro, I'm not feeling third one little bit. I'm expecting about the same position that I would. Anything higher than where we finished this season with a style of play, I will accept. Anything below seventh, was it seventh? Yeah, anything below seventh, I would be disappointed in. Most importantly, I just want to see a pattern, a style, a system. Then I'll be calm. I say that now, and then after the second game in the season, I will have no beard. I will have no eyelashes. Me and Talk are going to be sitting there eyebrowless after all of the stress that we've had, trying to stay positive and not swear on stream. So, yeah.
So what's your expectation then?
Seventh with a style of play. Yeah, I'll accept.
Before we go to the next subject, expectation for next season.
Expectation. First thing, like I said yesterday, identity. That's his first calling card out to now. Create an identity, and then look. I'm with OMONDI on this. I think third or fourth isn't out of the question, because Tottenham, yeah, they've strengthened, but are they really all that? Arsenal, look at them. The season before, when we finished second, the players that were involved, everything else. So I'm going to be optimistic and say I'm going to go fourth and a cup. I'm saying fourth and a cup right now. Clip it.
Okay, interesting. So we're going to move on to the next subject, and we've got a few Liverpool fans in the house. One of his is saying 12th. The other one's same guy saying we're a dead team. Hi, Avran Glazer. How you doing? And welcome to the channel. We're here to have a laugh. And because he says here, this is really funny. He says Paul are going to slap you for the next 10 seasons. So that's the kind of energy Liverpool feeling right now. They're feeling up themselves and all that kind of thing. Trying to sort of rub off when they were crying when they got beaten in the Champions League final recently. But the truth is, we got to look at it this way. Liverpool, great team, and they really stepped up in the last 5-10 years. I take my hat off to them. They're a great team. Beyond the banter, I think they're really up there, and we are far off them. Them and Man City are two giants at the moment. So salute to your manager, salute to Liverpool Football Club, and the way you've been running things at the moment. Because the next subject is about this guy, Michael Edwards. So we're going to have a little discussion about this. The 20 in the chat. Want to know what people in the comments think as well. So I'm just going to read this out. Michael Edwards, Man United have been linked with a move for former Liverpool sporting director Michael Edwards. Edwards played a crucial role in Liverpool's success over the years, both on and off the pitch. He can take a share of responsibility for bringing in the likes of Mo Salah, Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, and Fabinho to the club during his 10-year stint at Anfield. The Glazers have already decided to replace Ed Woodward and Richard Arnold, unlike his predecessor. Full stop. Unlike his predecessor, Arnold is willing to let the football positions to those who best qualified. There is concern about how slow United can be to get deals over the line. Mr. B said that. So maybe Murta has too much on his plate, and once we should be looking for someone it's more experienced to work alongside him. This is something Richard Arnold should have sorted with Ralph Rangnick before he took the Austria offer. So thoughts on Michael Edwards? I know this caused a lot of stirred, a lot of emotion with the Liverpool fans as well. Do we really want to go for someone who's associated with Liverpool? Would he really want to come to us once he's associated with Liverpool? Over to you, Mr. B. What are your thoughts on this Michael Edwards, sporting director? He's got a good track record there and it's been a successful club. So what are your thoughts on him and coming to Man United? Do you think there's any issues with that?
Firstly, if he comes to Man United, whose position would he be taking? Whose toes would he be stepping on? It's going to be what's his name?
He'll be supporting Arnold.
Well, why should he be coming in and be supporting somebody when he can do the job 50 times better than them? Is he? You say support? Is he going to acknowledge anything that this idiot's going to be saying? No, because he's just come into this job. What it should have been, he should be in the higher position, and Murta works under him. That's how it should be. You're going to employ the king of his job, which you say he is, then he should be the one in full charge. I don't think he's going to be going anywhere because I think he's going to be stepping on people's toes in there. Should we go and get him as a club? Of course we should. I think we should do whatever we can. Even if you have him in there for 4 years, it's, Liverpool's recruitment policy has been pretty good the last couple of seasons. And if he's a big part of it, which seems to be what everybody's saying, then yeah, I think it would be a good move. One, can I see it happening? No. Just because I don't think they want another outsider in their little cozy family bubble. And secondly, why would he come to Man United? Obviously, the appeal of getting us back on a good level would be there for him. But the fact that who he would be working under is, I think, would be another issue. So,
look, there's no way that I want anybody coming from Liverpool to Man United in that kind of position. Yeah, not for me, sorry. Plus, it's not going to happen anyway. It won't happen. Definitely not. You know what I mean? And I think, with what we've got on right now at the club, adding too many cooks and all that, we've got to make the start. We haven't even started yet. We've got no signings over the door, over the threshold yet. Do you know what I mean? And we're talking about bringing people into positions. They should have been talking about this ages ago, like was said in the thing, that this should have been dealt with when Ranić was there. You know what I mean? Ranić could have possibly identified somebody and started to make moves then. So it's too late, in my opinion, anyway. But I just don't. No, I'm not. It doesn't interest me at all. We'll find our own way.
Wow. Okay. I prefer the news about the sporting director at Monaco, who used to be at Spurs and Southampton.
Mitchell
As well. He's got more association with Man United because I think he supports us and he's from the area as well. So there's a few funny comments here. HG Gamer say he's coming to destroy us. He will do his side job.
He'll do
says, old news. He says old news has already turned us down. Brush saying Edwards would be far too sensible a move for us. So it's interesting. This Amateur Football said sorry, it's a typo. Didn't mean last 110 years. He's talking about last 10 years. There's no bans. Where did it went wrong? It's a deep question. I think we'd have to do a whole show on that one there. Other comments here. Emma's just saying MUFC. These Jacos talking to MUFC. These so-called journalists just spew out transfer rumors and make stuff up every summer because we attract clicks and agents do well to gain attention from their players. That's an interesting one. That's probably quite true as well. Part-time saying, I'd quite like Mr. B to go around intimidating the boardroom throughout of Europe, throwing burning chickens at them. Oh, God.
That's a game, Bath time. You've just come up with a great idea for a game. I want to play that. Come on.
Talk, this one's to you. Don't buy it. Ola Kule saying Talk doesn't know the history of his club. We built your club. That's what just I know. He's just trying to push buttons. Ola Kunle, this is a sat back at Ola Kunle from Bath time. He says, Ola, you don't even know the names of the stands at Anfield or the names of the players offered on loan to us in 58. Okay, yeah, so they're going back and forth. But anyway,
Brush, I knew that's where he was going.
Bring a bit of sense and sensibility in here. Brush is saying, talking about the woman who's been let go by Chelsea, she'd be good. I think she'd probably just follow Roman into his future endeavours. We won't make any changes. Just got to hope that Murta pulls it out the bag. Yeah, good shout.
Marina Gravenskaya?
Yeah, that's the one.
Marina Gravenskaya,
yeah. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to make it a short show. Steve McLaren, we all know Steve McLaren. He's back. Look at his hands on hips. He looks ready for business.
Sucking in his stomach.
I know the feeling. Steve McLaren saying Man United are set to embark on yet another brand new adventure, this time under the tutelage of Erik ten Hag. The Dutch coach and his support staff, which includes Steve McLaren and Mitchell van Gaag. We haven't spoken about him much, have we? We'll have a lot on their plate after last season's disastrous Premier League 2021-22 season. Pochettino talks about creating the culture. If no one brought energy, he's got them out, sold them. He said they had to bring some kind of energy to the group. You have to be ready, to train, you have to be ready to play, you have to be ready to impact, you have to to react. I mean, this is all this sort of motivational talk, isn't it? It doesn't mean much to me. Doesn't mean anything to you guys. Steve McLaren back, got hands on hips, looking like he means business, giving all these sort of motivational talks, which probably better job at the moment, isn't it? Going around giving motivational speeches. You got to be ready, you know. You got to do this. You got to have that motivation. You got to be rugged and ruthless and all that kind of thing. We know all that. Let's talk about coaching and the technical side of things. That's my view on it. Steve McLaren's back. What do you think of those comments? Are you happy he's back? Do you like the project that we're under now? Do you think he's going to have any sort of influence in that?
Yeah. Go on, Mr. B.
Oh, that was a quick answer. I was going to say, bloody hell, talk. You just gave a one-word answer. Wow, you were right. Sorry. Yeah, I McLaren. In the beginning, I just thought, oh, McLaren's coming back, but there has to be a reason why Ten Hag has done what he's done. You have to trust him. The fact that McLaren's been there before and knows. I said he was ahead of his time then. Has everybody now caught up with him, or is he still ahead of the curve? That's the part that I want to see at the moment with McLaren. He's going to be very steady in regards to knowing the clubs, knowing the layout of Old Trafford, knowing the layout of the changing room, knowing the layout of the training ground. These are things that I think will help Ten Hag. Because I heard, I know, I said everything's conjecture and rumor, but Moyes didn't know where the manager's office was at Old Trafford. You know, these are things that you want. You know, if Johnny Big Balls, he'll go. So these are things, familiarity. Yeah, that word. Mm-hmm. I think is going to help with McLaren being there and just a smooth transition, maybe moving forward.
This is like all the dots connect up here, you know, with what Erik ten Hag has done from his first arrival to this point right now. All the dots match up, so I'm not concerned at all about, you know, anybody that he's bringing in, because at the end of the day, who are we to try and preempt and prejudge what might or might not happen? I mean, I'm going off the success achieved by both of these, well, three: Van der Gaag, Ten Hag, and Steve McLaren. They've had huge success between them all, and they've worked together at that point. So, like I say, the dots connect up for me. So, you know, until something happens where it becomes quite clear that, whoa, hold on a minute, this ain't working, then they start to blow me top, you know, and then start effing and blinding and all that jazz. But as it stands right now, yeah, because I will do. Let me tell you that, right? As it stands right now, no, I'm here waiting. I'm going, right, hold on. I know what you can do, and I know what you're capable of. Let's, you know, come and do it for us now when we need it most, right in this moment.
Okay, guys, we're going to wind up the show now. Any other business? 23 in the watching right now. Make sure you press the like button if you're enjoying the show. Any other business from me? I'm going to mention the name Frankie de Jong. I didn't want to bring him up, but obviously that's what the key signing is, and I still believe that. I still think it's going to go through. There's so much news about it. They're out there now trying to sort out the deal with Barcelona, and then they've got to do personal terms or whatever they have to do, but they get the deal done. As SHAH was saying last night, with 27th of this month is when pre-season starts. Also, Anthony apparently has asked Ajax not to block any move from Manchester United. He seems like he maybe wants to come, and there's a dream team being mentioned here, which has upset fans at Manchester United. The dream team is including De Gea, Dalot, Timber, Maguire, Shaw, De Jong, McTominay, and Fernandes midfield, with Anthony, Ronaldo, and Sancho up front, which looks like a good, decent team. Don't know about Timber. Take Timber out of that. And maybe I will replace McTominay for Ghana. I'd love to see that. It does look like a decent team we could have next season when you really sort of lay it down. Dalot, Shaw playing on form, Maguire back on form with a good centre-back partner in Varane, hopefully. De Jong with Fernandes in midfield and maybe Donny van de Beek or Ghana instead of McTominay. We're going to keep possession of the ball. And Anthony, Sancho, and Ronaldo up front. That, to me, I like it. I don't know what you guys think, but that's any other business. For me, we've got potentially a good lineup next season.
Yeah,
Mr. Bean,
are you not feeling it, Mr. Beano? I am. I seen that it was from the MEN, I think. I think it was from Manchester Evening News, and you know what? I looked at it and I was like, all right, listen. But again, going back to what we said, we've got to give Ten Hag a chance here to prove that he can change players, that he can improve players, and work the system. Because again, when you're not working to a system, when you're not playing with an identity, of course you're going to look crap. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I compare it to like a guitarist who's not good at improvising.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? You can't improvise, and then they just start playing a tune, and then they say, "Come on, just play along." You're like, "What? I can't play along. I only play. I only do cover tunes." Do you know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? So let's just see. Let's be patient. Let's see. But that's what I was going to mention.
Talk? Any other news that you've heard about up north? Obviously, you're talking about the Manchester Evening News. What other stories are going around?
No, I was just going to pick up on what the one you just mentioned there about Anthony's asking Ajax not to block his move, which is encouraging to say the least, because that means. Go on, Mr. B.
So I just want to say something on Anthony deal. We knew the club have known that who they've wanted for the season. Why does everything have to be done in a specific order? They want Frankie de Jong to be the first signing. If Anthony could have been done, why didn't they get Anthony done before? The biggest problem I have, or the issue, everybody's already rating Ajax for players. They've lost they probably lost 4 players already. Man United still haven't officially bid for Anthony. So then by the time we bid for him, they're probably going to lose another player or another 2. Now it's going to be they don't want to lose Anthony, but he will go for an extra 20 million. Do you think the club are going to stump up the money? I just think everything takes so long with this club. If it's somebody that you've wanted, get it done. That's our problem.
Do you know what? I think, Mr. B, I think I'm going to go back to, the mistakes we've made, in previous seasons with all the money we've wasted. It was there, came out of the horse's mouth. You know what I mean? £1 billion burnt, gone, nothing. Paul Pogba gone on a free 90 million down the drain. Do you know what I mean? I think this could be just a case of, doing the accounts correctly. You've got to, like I was saying about, if you've got targets, you're looking at, the numbers fluctuating. You've got, you're looking at, okay, if we offer this for him and they accept it, that means we could go for him because we'll have more money to spend if they want us to go to X amount, blah, blah, blah. I think this is just a game of economics from the new people who are in charge who do not want to get the signings wrong for the wrong prices that are, spending, in other words, overspending on players that just don't cut it. You know what I mean? So I think, what, again, it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. I'm frustrated.
But guys, we've obviously clearly in the past 10 years, this was what I think Tavris was trying to make out. How do we feel about the last 10 years? But one really detrimental thing for this regarding signing players was just going out there, taking too long, buying players just for names and buying the wrong sort of players, not for system. So obviously we have to change that. And it's been interesting now. I think the stalling is down to making the right decisions. They've clearly come out and said we're going to focus on one big signing at a time. And the one they're focused on, all eyes are on Frankie de Jong right now. And now, wouldn't it be ironic if after all this, he turns around and said, actually, I'm staying at Barcelona, even though Barcelona actually forced him, sort of pushing him out the door, if he said that and dug his heels in, But there must be something in it. I think he probably will come, because otherwise it wouldn't go this far and he wouldn't embarrass us like that. Hopefully not. But anyway, so maybe I'm thinking, well, one sign at a time, don't panic, just get the deal done and get it done correctly. And then we move on from there, even if it means waiting until late in August to get another signing in or whatever. As long as it's the right signing for the club, I think that's more important based on what's happened over the last 10 years. Can we just go through the last few comments, unless you guys got any more business?
No, go put it.
Okay, so Carl McConnell saying McLaren is a very smart man. He's one that won't let people not give their all. Okay, so he's motivational. He push them. And he's a very good coach, isn't he? A lot of players talk highly about his coaching. Bill Badger says McLaren is hugely experienced since being here last. I'm really happy he's back. That's really positive. I like that too. He's gone away, a bit like David Moyes. He went away, went abroad, learned a bit more, and come back. And he's proven he's got the minerals. The same with McLaren, even though people wrote him off after what happened with England, and all they've mentioned is the umbrella. They lost to a Croatian team, which is a decent team. look at it, they got to the World Cup final, didn't they? That same-ish Croatia team. So can't be too critical. Oh, the umbrella. What beyond that? Scratch the surface. It's just a joke, you know. It's just a joke about him putting an umbrella up. What's that got to do with losing 3-2 or 4-3 to Croatia?
I never jumped on with that. I never jumped on with that, all that nonsense about the Wally abroad and all that jazz.
It's just, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, but then when you scratch the surface and look at it, when you say England losing to Croatia is not that bad. Modric and all these great players, you know. Yeah, anyway, MK saying we'll probably see more movement in January after the World Cup and when we're playing better. So
I'm glad for you, Emma. I'm glad for your optimism. You and the Monday are the ones. You and the Monday are the ones that will keep this half smile on my face until the season starts.
But she makes a good point because she's saying to entice someone to come to a club like Nunes, he's gone to Liverpool thinking they're a hot team, they look good, they're all over Europe, everyone's talking about how good they are. I'm going to go to them. So if we're playing good football, pretty on the eye, that kind of thing, which we haven't been for a long time, maybe players will be more inclined to come to us. Stumpy saying I prefer Malcolm McLaren over Steve. Yeah, name of Malcolm McLaren. Show me one. They was that double
19.
Yeah,
19. Yeah.
Yeah. No. 19. Yeah. For those who know, Kyle McConnell says Mohammed. I was going to say Muhammad Ali. Manchester United will announce the signing tomorrow. They have to, or I see things turning bad. So remember that it's going to be tomorrow. We have a signing. You can talk about it on the Friday night takeaway at 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Bill Badger saying if we stick with Maguire, we are effing doomed. Badger saying De Jong dictates which players we go into the market for. No De Jong, the players change. Callum said Mr. B is because we don't know how to get much of the budget we will have left after the De Jong deal, so that's why nothing's been done in regards to other players. Okay, I just about managed to spit that out. Bill Badger says he wants De Jong and Anthony. If that doesn't pan out, then it might be Ruiz and somebody else. H game a Ten Hag's tracksuit pictures on Monday. Everyone's that's like a signing, isn't it? Okay, all right. I can't read at the moment. I'm messing this all up. So I just want to say big up to Pat Lawless. Make sure you share, subscribe. He says thank you. Shah's in the house. Said turn up at Carrington on the 27th. They can sign Shah. Okay. Emma K. Actually wants to see training. Emma K wants to see the training sessions. I wonder if you're allowed to be filmed and posted. That's interesting, is it? Remember, was talk? You're up north. Was there a time when fans could sort of get a good view of the training sessions up at the old cliff?
At the cliff, yeah, you could do, yeah, at the cliff. I mean, obviously now you can't get into the Carrington, you know what I mean, security and all that jazz. But yeah, back in the old days at the cliff, it was pretty easy. You know what I mean? To be fair though, I don't think, especially back in the really early days, I don't think there were many people really that bothered, to be honest. I don't think it was something like it is now. Obviously, I think social media is now like the thing, isn't it? You know, because if you get yourself a picture with, I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo, you know what I mean? It's like, it's an achievement in your life, isn't it? It would be for me anyway. You know what I mean?
Just finally, I'm going to lock up the show now because we've got, we're 20 in the comments. Everyone said Shah said he'd go down to Carrington and have a look and see if he can get a game. And Bill Badger's come back and said Alan Shara. I like that. I love that. That was a comment.
Do you know what? Yeah. Maybe I'll tell you what. Look, we'll be Shah's agents, right? And we'll go to Carrington and we'll arrange a meeting and we'll try and sell him at United. We'll split the profit.
Yeah,
the only thing is, unless you have that sign on your head, I have no idea what you're going to be looking like. So I don't know how we're going to do this deal, mate. I tell you.
So everyone in the Man United agenda, let's all get behind Shah, get his headband on, get him doing some road work, get himself fit. So by the 27th, he can go and represent, do Ali Dyer or whatever he did at Southampton. Say he's George Ware's cousin or something like that. But Alan Shara, that is flipping brilliant. Maybe
that one.
Big up. Yeah. Any last words, Mr. B or Rise? Because I'm going to say
I'm out, ready to eat.
Yeah. It's just big up to everybody who's come again and supported us, during this lean time for Manchester United. I know everybody's on tender hooks, waiting and, you know, nervous and all the rest of it. And you come along again and show us your love and support, which is, you know, it's quality, and the community is great. Big up.
And on that note, we're going to leave. Thank you. Great words there, Rise. Big up, everyone. And we're out. Later.